All right, today we are going to talk about parenting in the funnel. Yep, I brought a funnel. Let's describe and explain to you exactly what this means. Parenting inside the funnel. If you look at this funnel, you think about your child, and as they get older, right? So this is their age. Going up and down would be their age. Going out would be the boundaries you allow. So when they're little, you're not going to allow all the boundaries or the freedoms, I should say, that you do when they're older. My older kids have a lot more freedom. My more mature kids have a lot more freedom. And so as they get older and they go up this ladder, their freedoms get wider. That's what parenting in the funnel is all about. It's simply the idea that you think through what you will allow your children and what freedoms you will give them and what boundaries they need to stay within. Scientifically, it's been proven over and over and over again that kids do better if they know the boundaries that they are to stay within. And as parents, that's our job, right? And I will tell you, I'll take that one step further, and moms do better when they know what boundaries their children are to live within. When we just give freedom, we don't think it through, it can be super hard on our brains. Something that has happened with my children, one of the big issues we have had is video games. And I hear that from moms all the time. Video games are an issue. Kids won't turn it off. Kids push and want more time. Kids stay on for hours. And I will tell you, that is one of the best things you can do is parent in the funnel in media. Media tends to take over kids' brains, and it tends to exasperate moms. So when they are little, and again, remember, this is not a parenting seminar. Don't take this wrong. This is how do you stay in an emotionally well place. And a lot of that has to do with, are you parenting within the boundaries? So when they're little, if you give all this freedom that you would give your 17-year-old, and you just say, hey kid, you can do as much video as you want, or you don't monitor it and you say, turn it off in an hour. And when an hour comes, they don't turn it off. An hour and a half comes, they still don't turn it off. You come in at 2 hours and go, what are you doing? I told you to turn it off in an hour. Do you see the temperature rise in your emotional well-being? You're like, you're pulling your hair out. You're frustrated because your 7-year-old didn't turn off a video game when you told him to. Parenting inside the funnel, giving them the freedom to make those choices as they prove that they're able. So, okay, how does this work? One of the things I have done is we've always used a timer. And the timer is because the kid will not recognize the time. They just won't. So I keep a timer for them, and they set it for an hour. We used to do 30 minutes when they were little. We do an hour now. That may not be your boundary. That's totally fine. I don't care if you decide 2 hours. That's your call. What I'm saying is, whatever your boundary is, mom, you set that and then you enforce it. That's what the funnel is. This outer rim, this hard part, is you enforcing what you set in your home. And then of course, as they grow up, boom, no more enforcement. They now have learned, hopefully, self-enforcement. So going back to the video game, something we did was we set a timer. The kids were responsible to set the timer. Let's just say it was 30 minutes. They set it. When the 30 minutes goes off, that video game is to be off. It is on or before the timer goes off. Now, what happens if they don't turn it off? Because you're like, yeah, right, they're not going to turn it off. You're right. They're not going to turn it off, the video game. So then if you have set your clear boundaries, you will let them know ahead of time. This is the whole funnel thing, letting them know the boundaries ahead of time, that if you choose not to turn it off, then you choose not to play a video game the next day. Look at that. Do you see how your emotions are taken out of it? It's no longer you trying to be the enforcer. It's, oh, they made a choice. they did not choose to turn it off at the 30 minutes, then they choose not to play the video game the next day. If they chose to turn it off, and again, you've let them know ahead of time, then the following day, they will get 10 minutes added and they'll have a 40-minute video game time. However you want to work it, that's just an example. The point is that you have told them the boundaries. You have enforced the boundaries, but they get to choose whether they live within them or without. If they choose to live without them, then there are natural consequences that they have chosen because they knew it ahead of time. Then as they get older, those boundaries increase and they feel more freedom. They understand the boundaries and they see that their choices affect their life. Oh my gosh, such good stuff, because it gives you such freedom to say your yes is your yes, your no is your no. I told you what would happen. This is what you chose. And you see the emotional release? I hope you're seeing that. All right, today there is a funnel chart down below. It's a downloadable funnel chart, and it just is something for you to think through. Hopefully, I don't know if you're married or not, where you are, but if you have a spouse or a partner, please look at this with them. Look at it and decide what's important to you. You can't manage your whole life right now. You can't manage it all, but pick a few things that you're like, you know what? This is something we would like to put some boundaries on so that I don't feel so stressed. Remember, it's about you and your emotional well-being, which will transfer on to your child's emotional well-being. So download the chart and take a little bit today, a little bit of time, and fill that out if you can. Take care.